Hello, my well-esteemed guests. I'm Bottles, and welcome back to Sonic What Ifs, where I trick you all into listening to my Sonic fanfiction. Where we tweak one part of the Sonic the Hedgehog lore and give our take on what the story for the games would be with this one little tweak. Shay64 and I thought that for this surprise Sonic What If, we'd do an interesting little one-off that was thought up by Smashlandr in our Discord server. By the way, people have been wanting to send us ideas for Sonic What Ifs. We have a channel in our Discord server specifically for that. This brilliant idea is, what if Shadow never called Infinite weak? Or as we like to call it, what if Shadow didn't break Infinite? Shadow calling Infinite weak and pathetic is what caused the entirety of Infinite's character to happen and the events of Sonic Forces to unfold. Will Infinite be just as much of a thorn in the side of our heroes, or will Eggman just find an alternative? Let's find out. Our story begins when Shadow gets word of a previously decommissioned Eggman base getting weirdly noisy lately. Shadow is sent to the Mystic Jungle to see what is going on there. There he is met with the leader of the Jackal Squad, Infinite. They still fight, and of course, Shadow still wins. Instead of standing there to call him pathetic and weak, however, he keeps his eye on the mission and runs into the jungle base, leaving Infinite there. Infinite will not go down without a fight, however, and he chases Shadow down in the jungle base, doing what he can to stop him, but to no avail. Shadow ends up destroying what Eggman was working on in that jungle base, and then uses his Chaos Control to get out of there. Mission complete. Infinite is left. Nothing left to protect. His only option now is to report his failure to Eggman.
What? Do you know how important that base was to my Phantom Ruby research? You just let him go? Did you even try?
Of course I tried. I thought we could build a new future together. Apparently I was wrong to put my trust in someone so incompetent. Doctor.
You are officially fired. You will receive your check in the mail, and you can go wherever you want, but you can't stay here.
At that moment, every badnik in the base starts going after Infinite. Infinite runs out of there as quickly as possible to get himself to safety, having lost everything. His squad, his position, his ambitions, his options. Infinite walks away in shame. 1 month later, Tails gets word of Eggman and his badniks attacking civilians at the end of Lost Valley. Sonic runs there as quickly as possible, noticing Green Hill is looking a bit more like Sand Hill right now, and makes it to the town. The villagers are being attacked by a couple of motobugs, but Sonic makes quick work of them.
Ho 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 ho! Sonic the Hedgehog. Just the person I wanted to see.
Come on, Eggman, we know how this goes. You show up with robots, I show up and destroy the robots, you unveil the big machine, and 8 hits later I win. So can we just skip to the end where you run away?
Cocky today, aren't we? Let's see how you fare against my latest and greatest creation.
Eggman hits a button on his Eggmobile, and all of a sudden, Metal Sonic appears, looking noticeably different than before. Metal Sonic looks more like he did in his Neo Metal form, and has a red color that he's never had before. Doc, I've already beaten this one. Give me another. Before he could even finish his sentence, Metal Sonic attacks and gets the upper hand on Sonic pretty quickly. Sonic goes to move in on him, tries multiple times, but Neo Metal is just too fast. Jesus, he's faster than Sonic. Sonic is ultimately defeated and then gets captured by Eggman, leaving Tails traumatized. This is where the story stays relatively the same. Sonic is imprisoned by Eggman and tortured for 6 months. Tails goes into isolation due to his fear and depression. Eggman takes over 99.9% of the world, and our supporting cast creates the Resistance. There are a few key differences, however. Firstly, the Avatar character does not get recruited into the Resistance. In the game, the Avatar decides to join the Resistance because Infinite called him weak and pathetic to even try to stand up to them in a fight, but I feel like in this timeline, Metal Sonic would be a fair bit crueler than Infinite. Metal Sonic is a cold, cold machine. He wouldn't even give the Avatar the time of day to taunt him in his path of errant destruction. Second, and most important, Knuckles is not the leader of the Resistance. Since the events of episode Shadow turned out differently and Shadow is not trapped in virtual reality by Infinite, Shadow becomes the leader of the Resistance, since his experience with Gun would make him the perfect leader in this situation. At first, he would be apprehensive, but I feel like Amy could convince him. Maybe even remind him of a certain promise he made to a certain someone. There is talks of a new recruit, however, but who it is someone you may not expect. Espio starts talking about how Knuckles is bringing in this new recruit to the Resistance that day. Shadow tells his team that he is a very highly skilled warrior that has shown him that he won't accept failure as an option. He should know. He was very persistent when they fought. The door opens and Knuckles walks in with the new recruit.
Everyone, meet the newest recruit in the Resistance, Infinite Jackal.
From the Jackal Squad?
He has expressed his want for revenge towards Eggman for humiliating him and making him give up everything for nothing. Though revenge isn't something I particularly agree with. His skills are there in terms of pulling off a job. Having an ex-mercenary will prove useful to us. I guarantee I will see to it that the Eggman Empire will fall, and Eggman along with it.
With introductions out of the way, Shadow starts off with going over their next course of action as the Resistance, breaking Sonic out of the Death Egg. Shadow reveals he got some secret intel about the whereabouts of Sonic's cell, and with the blueprints to the Death Egg in their files, they have found a route to Sonic, a quick in-and-out procedure. Shadow enlists Infinite to do the mission. As an ex-mercenary, Infinite has tons of experience sneaking into places and getting the target he needs before slipping back out. Infinite accepts the mission and they head out. Infinite sneaks onto a cargo ship that will be launched straight to the Death Egg. Once he gets into the cargo bay, he takes out the badniks within. He takes the route Shadow made for him, which led him right to Sonic's cell. Infinite looks around before finding a way to deactivate the prison's locks. Due to the fact that Infinite worked for Eggman for a short time, he knew just how to get into his systems. Infinite paid attention. He unlocks the doors and makes his way to Sonic's cell quickly. When he arrives, he sees Sonic fighting a bunch of badniks. Infinite runs up to Sonic to help. To whom do I have the pleasure?
Infinite Jackal, former leader of the Jackal Squad.
I've heard of you guys. Weren't you guys criminals?
There's no time to explain now. I'm sure Shadow will give you the rundown.
As long as it gets me out of this Gaia-forsaken place, count me in. They defeat the rest of the badniks together and double boost the hell out of there. Infinite takes a Death Egg escape pod and takes Sonic back to Resistance HQ. Operation complete. Meanwhile, the stuff with Tails and Classic Sonic still happen, except Classic Sonic just appears when Tails is trying to fix Omega. No Sonic help me moment against Chaos Zero here. Just surprised at seeing Classic Sonic again. Tails sees Classic Sonic's appearance and gets intrigued by how he could possibly be here, thinking that it could possibly be due to the power that Eggman has given Metal Sonic. It gives him the inspiration that he needs to burst right back into action again. Classic Sonic following in tow. Back at Resistance HQ, Shadow gets word that Silver is being attacked in the Mystic Jungle, and decides to take action. Shadow enlists Infinite as his backup while they go fight whoever is attacking Silver. They decide to leave Sonic behind at this point to give him some time to rest. When Shadow and Infinite arrive at Silver's coordinates, they see him getting attacked by Metal Sonic.
Silver, fall back. We're here to help.
Shadow notices that Metal Sonic looks normal again, as opposed to the red form he took when he defeated Sonic.
Don't think I'm worth your strongest form, huh? You'll pay for not taking me seriously.
Infinite starts attacking as Shadow offers support. Metal Sonic fires blasts towards them, and Infinite notices that Metal Sonic is adorned with a familiar red cubic pattern.
He's powered by the Phantom Ruby.
The what? At that moment, Infinite and Shadow are transported to a virtual world of Metal Sonic's making, where they must fight a giant Metal Sonic. Meanwhile, Eggman is perusing through the Green Hill Zone with Orbot, Cubot, and an army of badniks, hell-bent on causing as much destruction as they can. Tails and Classic Sonic start spying on Eggman, overhearing that Sonic is still alive at the Death Egg and that everything is going according to plan. Tails and Classic Sonic come out of hiding to stop Eggman from causing any further destruction, and they defeat his army of badniks as well as defeat Eggman's Egg Dragoon. Once that's finished, Eggman gloats that his plan will come to fruition in 3 days, no matter what they do, and run off. Tails and Classic Sonic decide to go take a visit to Resistance HQ to tell everyone that Sonic is still alive on the Death Egg. Meanwhile, back at Mystic Jungle, Shadow and Infinite defeat the giant metal Sonic and pick up the Phantom Ruby prototype that was left behind. As they start to walk back to HQ with it, Shadow looks to Infinite.
So, what is this Phantom Ruby? I'm not quite sure myself. All I know is that it is a gem that can create grand illusions. Some so real that it can be felt by those who are real. Eggman tricked me with illusions of grandeur and the power that I would achieve if I joined him. I will make sure he pays for that. Don't let revenge cloud your mind, Infinite. It'll warp your perspective. He took everything from me, Shadow. Everything. He deserves what's coming to him.
Shadow looks away, concerned.
Just don't let it get in the way of our cause.
At that moment, Shadow and Infinite meet up with Classic Sonic and Tails. Shadow and Infinite are taken aback by Sonic's other self.
Is this the Sonic from back then?
Yeah, it seems the Phantom Ruby distortions that Metal Sonic has been causing somehow brought the other Sonic here somehow.
There are 2 Sonics? It's a long story. I should hang out with you guys more often.
I guess since you guys just happen to be here, I could just tell you now. Sonic is alive on the Death Egg!
We know. We already got him back from there and he's resting at Resistance HQ.
What? But I saw Eggman just a few minutes ago, and he said he was still there. Classic Sonic, Tails, Shadow, and Infinite all got a sense that something is very, very wrong, and run back to Resistance HQ as fast as they possibly can to get to the bottom of this. Shadow, Infinite, Tails, and Classic Sonic return to Resistance HQ, where they are shocked and horrified to see that the entire building is in ruins, and everyone inside has been severely injured. What happened here? Why did no one call for help?
He cut all communication lines. Sonic,
what happened to Sonic? All of a sudden, they hear laughing behind them. They all turn around to see Sonic standing there, laughing at the ruins right in front of him. Sonic?
Finally. It's finally happened. You all see me as the real Sonic.
Infinite wastes no time punching Sonic in his core. He ends up hitting the Phantom Ruby, temporarily stopping the illusion. For 1 second, they see Sonic flicker back to looking like Phantom Neo Metal, and then back to Sonic.
I told you all. I am the real Sonic!
Metal has gone mad! Shadow, Infinite, and Classic Sonic try to fight the imposter, but it's no use. The power the Phantom Ruby has given Metal makes him too powerful. Tails is just frozen in fear at what this figure of Sonic is doing.
The Phantom Ruby has shown me a vision of the world where I am Sonic. It was beautiful. It was mine. No friends, no Eggman, nothing. Just me. Sonic.
Phantom Neo Metal blasts them away and escapes the base. Infinite stands there in seething anger.
I will not be humiliated again!
Infinite runs out of the base to fight Phantom Neo Metal and Eggman on his own.
Infinite, no! Stay here!
Damn it! Tails, Little Sonic, take everyone to safety and help them get their wounds treated. I'll stop Infinite from getting himself killed.
Shadow runs out after Infinite, to which Classic Sonic and Tails oblige to Shadow's command. Tails looking kinda dejected. Infinite makes his way all the way to Central City before Shadow catches up with him.
Infinite, you can't just act out on your own like that. You'll get yourself killed. I am not so pathetic to be defeated by the likes of Eggman. He's a small, pathetic worm that deserves to be eradicated. I couldn't agree with you more, but we can't just rush in without thinking with thoughts of revenge. Trust me, that never ends well.
At that moment, Phantom Sonic, which is what I'll be calling the disguised form of Phantom Neo Metal from now on, appears before them.
This is all I deserve?
No army? Surely you're underestimating me. Shadow and Infinite turned towards Phantom Sonic. They weren't prepared for a fight, but they sure as hell got one. Phantom Sonic uses his abilities to engulf them in yet another illusion, using his supersonic speed to fight Shadow and Infinite. Phantom Sonic has them on the ropes. As it looks like he is about to finish them off, Eggman shows up.
Well. This is what the Resistance has come to, huh? I thought of all people, Shadow the Hedgehog would be a bit smarter than this. Eggman, I've come to make sure your existence is wiped from this planet. Ooh, I'm so scared of tiny, pathetic, couldn't even carry out one mission Infinite.
Infinite started to get angry.
The Resistance must be really desperate to get someone as small and insignificant as you on their side.
Shadow saw what Eggman was doing. He knew this was a trap.
Infinite, let's fall back. That's an order. Yes! Escape! After all, there's nothing you can do to stop my plan that will be executed in 2 days. Because you are all so weak. I am not weak!
Infinite lunges at Eggman with intent to kill. Eggman smiles as he moves to the side, and Infinite jumps into the dark portal behind him.
Infinite, no!
Eggman laughs maniacally.
What did you do to him? I did nothing more than move out of his way! Now he is in null space.
Null space?
A place where only nothingness exists. A pocket between dimensions caused by the dimensional distortion of the Phantom Ruby. One way in, no way out. So what will you do, Shadow? Doors closing.
Shadow, without hesitation, jumps right inside the portal to null space.
Huh? Honestly, I was expecting a bit more resistance.
Eggman starts to laugh maniacally. Inside null space, Shadow finds his way to Infinite, sitting, thinking.
Shadow, what are you doing here?
Getting you out of here. Infinite looks confused.
Why would you do that? I failed you too, just like I failed everyone else. You, Eggman, my squad. I failed them all. What possible use could I be?
Shadow sighs and sits next to Infinite.
It's not about having a use. It's about doing the right thing. The reason we're here is because your head was clouded by thoughts of revenge. I've been there. I wanted nothing more than to get revenge on the world for taking Maria from me. But that led me to almost breaking the one promise I made to her. To protect everyone and give them a chance to be happy. I know you've made no such promise, but you're also not a bad guy either. A certain blue nuisance told me that everyone deserves a second chance. You are no exception.
That's nice and all, but how are we going to get out of here? That same blue annoyance also taught me that there is always a way out of a situation, no matter what.
Shadow holds his hand out as Infinite takes it, and they start looking around for a way out. Meanwhile, with Tails and Classic Sonic, after getting everyone to safety, Tails and Classic Sonic hack into Eggman's computer network in the chemical plant zone and find out the original source of the Phantom Ruby's power is in the Death Egg. Tails sees this as the perfect opportunity to stop the Phantom Ruby and free the real Sonic out of his prison. Tails and Classic Sonic use the tornado to infiltrate the Death Egg, to where Classic Sonic and Tails split up. Tails goes to where the Phantom Ruby energy readings are coming from to destroy it, and Classic Sonic searches the Death Egg to find where Sonic is actually being held. Classic Sonic eventually finds Sonic's cell and knocks on the cell doors. Oh my god! It's the me from the other dimension! What are you doing here? Classic Sonic gestures that he's going to get him out of here. Sounds like a plan. Getting tortured for 6 months will really wipe the grin off your face. I'm just wondering what took so long. At that moment, the door opens and Tails arrives shortly after. Tails! Oh wow, it's so great to see you! Come on, we have to get out of here. Metal Sonic is on a rampage and we need to stop him. Say no more. Kick Metal Sonic butt and wipe that smile off Eggman's face. Sounds like an average Tuesday. Sonic runs out at full speed with Tails and Classic Sonic, avoiding any badniks along the way. While they're on the tornado, Sonic concocts a plan. We will throw everything at Eggman at once. Even though we've taken significant losses, he can't beat all of us. Meanwhile, back in Null Space, Shadow and Infinite are doing whatever they can to try and get out. Running really fast, using Chaos Controls and Chaos Blast, nothing is working.
Maybe Sonic was wrong. Maybe you can truly just be stuck somewhere.
At that moment, a small portal opens up and a hand reaches in to help them.
Maybe we spoke too soon?
Shadow and Infinite walk up to the hand and cautiously take it. The hand pulls them out of Null Space where they are faced with Phantom Sonic and Eggman.
Damn it.
What they weren't expecting, however, was for them to be brought right into an argument.
Metal, what do you think you're doing? I'm not done with them yet. I did not order you to bring them back. In fact, I didn't want them back ever again! You may not want them back, but I want them dead.
Shadow and Infinite try to make their escape, but Phantom Sonic stops in their tracks.
And where do you think you're going?
Shadow then does Chaos Control to try and run with Infinite, which seems to work at first, but then Phantom Sonic reveals pretty quickly that this won't work as well as he would let on. Phantom Sonic seems to be able to move freely, even despite the Chaos Control.
What? But how? When I absorbed the Chaos data from that Chow and Frog, as well as your data all those years ago, I'm able to do Chaos Control at will. Just like you.
Infinite used his sword to slam Phantom Sonic in the head while he was distracted, and they used that opportunity to make their escape.
They're getting away! They seem to forget. I'm the fastest thing alive.
Phantom Sonic starts running after them, creating illusion after illusion of himself to try and stop them, but narrowly, they make their escape. When they get outside the base, they are met with a very pleasant surprise. Sonic, Classic Sonic, Tails, and the rest of the Resistance have arrived and are ready to fight. Eggman and Phantom Sonic make their way outside to meet the army.
You really think you have the chance to beat Phantom Metal and my Badnik army? You have no chance!
At that moment, Phantom Sonic knocks Eggman to the ground.
Metal? I am no longer Metal Sonic. I am the real Sonic. And I am done playing your game. Wait, you can't do this. I made you. I created you. What a pity. Too bad you didn't program me to feel sympathy.
At that moment, Phantom Sonic opens a portal to Null Space and throws Eggman inside, trapping him there. Phantom Sonic turns to the army and sees Sonic, the real Sonic.
You.
I knew you were crazy, but throwing your creator into nothingness? That's dark.
If the doctor was smart, he would have killed you 6 months ago.
Well, I'm here. And what are you gonna do against a whole army?
The only thing I can do, make my own.
At that moment, Phantom Sonic waved his arm, and an entire army's worth of Metal Sonics appear. That's right, baby. I made the metallics from Sonic the Comic Canon. With that, the all-out war begins. Sonic, Tails, Classic Sonic, Shadow, Infinite, and the rest of the Resistance army versus an endless supply of Metal Sonics. Our main cast makes it out ahead of the crowd, making it up all the way to Phantom Sonic himself. Phantom Sonic is getting excited now. The final fight begins. The Resistance is winning, easily getting the upper hand, causing Phantom Sonic to get more and more angry.
This charade has gone on long enough! I will destroy you all and make a world of only Sonic! The perfect world!
Sounds attractive, but not even I would want to be a part of that.
You are not the real Sonic!
At that moment, Phantom Sonic flies up into the air, allowing the entire Metal Sonic army to fly up towards him and, after a very comically lengthy transformation sequence, leaves Phantom Metal in a giant dragon-like form, creating Phantom Metal Overlord. Everyone else is terrified, but Tails seems confused. This doesn't make any sense. How is Metal still this powerful? We destroyed the source of the Phantom Ruby's power. This can't just be reserves. Tails thinks for a bit longer and figures it out. It was a fake. Shadow looks to Tails. A fake. Eggman actually learned. We always go for the source of his power. He made a fake one. Considering he seems to be the strongest he's ever been, it must be nearby. Maybe within the base. Shadow speaks up. Okay, Sonic and I will hold off Metal Sonic. Make sure we have as few casualties as possible. Small Sonic and Infinite, you go with Tails inside of Eggman's base and locate and destroy the Phantom Ruby's power source. Infinite, Classic Sonic, and Tails get ready to run inside.
Understood. Don't get killed, Commander Shadow.
They've already tried once.
Infinite nods and runs into the base, destroying all of the badniks along the way. Infinite getting flashbacks back to the day he broke into Eggman's base with his Jackal Squad. Determined to make the right choice by the Resistance, he soldiers on. So, Infinite.
Yes?
Why did you want to join the Resistance? While I was looking through the files in the chemical plant, I saw that a lot of the Phantom Ruby experiments were in your name. What happened?
At first I joined the Resistance because I saw it was my biggest chance to get revenge on Eggman for taking everything from me. But now I know that I need to do this for myself. Whatever the world throws at me, I must do the right thing. That is true strength.
Tails smiles as they get interrupted by a guard Titan Metal Sonic.
Of course. We'd be fools to think that he'd make this easy.
Infinite and Classic Sonic do battle with Titan Metal Sonic, and after a close match, they defeat him. Eventually, they find the true Phantom Ruby, to which Tails deactivates it, and to which Infinite takes the Phantom Ruby. The power source is secure. Outside, Sonic and Shadow are fighting off Phantom Metal Overlord, but at the time that Tails shuts off the generator, Phantom Metal Overlord starts to fail. Sonic rejoices. They did it! When Phantom Metal Overlord collapses, all of the illusion versions of Metal Sonic disappear, leaving only Phantom Sonic, having only just enough power left in his Phantom Ruby prototype that is embedded in his chest to keep up the Sonic form. Sonic and Phantom Sonic start fighting each other. Tails, Classic Sonic, and Infinite emerge from the base and run up to Shadow, watching the fight. Infinite walks up to them and pins them both down. Of course, we get the shoot him, no shoot him moment you'd expect, but almost as if he knew immediately, Infinite lets go of one of the Sonics and reaches into the chest of the other, pulling out the Phantom Ruby prototype from Phantom Sonic's chest, turning him back to normal and powering him down.
I told you and your creator, I am not weak.
Whew. How did you know?
I don't know. The Phantom Ruby energy just called out to me, as if I had some sort of connection.
Sonic, perplexed by this, just smiles and says, well, not much to do now except rebuild. Hey everyone! We won! The Resistance army that's left begins to cheer. Shadow looks to Infinite and smiles, proud of the hero he has become. And that, my friends, is where our story ends. What did you guys think? Did you like Phantom Sonic, the canonization of the Metalics, and Infinite's new character arc? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, and let me know your ideas for Sonic What Ifs. Maybe we'll make them into an episode. Next week, we'll be releasing our new series on the channel, Releasing the Unreleased, where we talk about canceled video games. We will be starting off with the first ever canceled Sonic game, Sega Sonic Bros. If you don't want to wait a week, become a channel member for $4 a month to see that video right now, as well as any future videos 1 week early. Merch store and social medias are in the description below, and I bid you, my well-esteemed guests, adieu.